Hello, BookTube. This is a book haul. I know that Bill Rutenberg called for a truce when he did a tag the other day, him and his daughter. Wonderful tag, and I will be doing it today. He tagged the OGBG. He seems to be a peacemaker. Although, if I remember right, he had a few. There was a few musket balls coming out of the cornfields of Iowa during some of this, so keeping an eye on him. But I did go out. Had to go out this morning, so I stopped by my LCS, my local comic shop. Number 7 on Deceased, Dead Planet. And number 2 out of 4 on The Expanse. So I just read the first one, enjoyed it. And then we stopped at Listen, a charity shop, and didn't do too bad. So I spent a total of $7 there, so that'll be everything you see from this point on. Speaking of Bill, like I said, I'll do that tag later today. So getting right back to the books here. This is Star Wars Legend, The Old Republic, Fatal Alliances by Sean Williams. It's a mass market paperback. I'm reading Aftermath right now and enjoying it. So on this one, Fatal Alliance. When I look into you, I see no loyalty. I sense only tangled allegiances. Given a choice, I would never trust you. From across the galaxy they've come, agents of both the Republic and the Sith Empire. An investigating Jedi Padawan, an ex-trooper drummed out of the Republic's elite Black Star Squad, and a mysterious Mandalorian. An extraordinary auction has drawn them all together. In quest of a prize only one can claim. Each is prepared to do what he must to possess the treasure, whose value may be the wealth of a world itself. None intend to leave empty-handed. All have secrets, desires, and schemes, and nothing could ever unite them as allies, except the truth about the deadly danger of the object they covet. But can Sith and Jedi, Republic and Empire, enemies for millennia, join as one against a certain doom of the galaxy? That sounds really good, doesn't it? And then, hopeful for baseball season, got another baseball book. This is At Fenway, Dispatches from Red Sox Nation by Dan Shaughnessy. Long-time Red Sox and New England sports journalist. There he is right on the back there. This is an older volume. He's famous for his book, Curse of the Bambino. And this is from 1996. And, yeah, we got, some older images. Been to Fenway Park many times. When I was a kid, this was my favorite player because he was from where I was and we knew him, Carlton Fisk. And Peter Gammons, those of you who watch a lot of baseball will know him. This next thing is Barnes & Noble, Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Nietzsche. It's from Barnes & Noble Signature Edition. It's a lovely cover on this thing. And the cover is jacket art by Kevin Tong. It's translated by Thomas Common. An introduction to the new edition and notes by Dennis Sweet. You have in the back you have further reading, a thing called Based on the Book, and then you have end notes, and then you have a nice timeline of his life. But I have not read this in ages, so yeah, I'm pretty happy to have this. Very nice copy. Let me see here. I'll put that one last, or next to last. Then here we have, and this is a trade paperback, John M. Najimy, A History of Florence, 1200 to 1575. This thing is Blackwell Publishing. And it came out in 2008. Looks like quite a scholarly job. Not surprising, being Blackwell's. Glad to have it. Something I've always enjoyed reading about. So Florence during the Renaissance is famously known as a center for the rebirth of scholarship, literature, and the arts. But it was also an autonomous republic, a site of innovative experiments in government, a major economic power that produced great wealth and yet underwent recurrent fiscal crisis. Sounds familiar. And a locus of conflicts among the elite families, the guild community, and the working classes, and between family-based factions grounded in patronage and private power. So yeah, it looks really, really good. Looks really interesting. Lots of decent, not tons of images, but plenty. So I'm looking forward to it. And then I got this for $2.75. Not too bad, not too shabby. Get this box set. And I'll hold up the back. It describes it a little bit. You could always just hit the pause button, I guess. But I'll take them out and go through them individually with you. So first here, we have, the series is The Jewish People in America. And it's from Johns Hopkins University Press. So the first one here is A Time for Planting, the First Migration, 1654 to 1820. Let's see here, by Eli Faber. So Johns Hopkins University Press is obviously Baltimore, but it's Baltimore and London. And this is from 1992. I have briefly looked through it. It looks fantastic. Get some images. Let's see here. A pretty decent index. A bibliographic essay. And then extensive notes. The second one here is A Time for Gathering, the Second Migration, 1820 to 1880. This one is by Hasiah R. Diner, and this one's 1992. Same setup for the book. Notes, bibliographic essay, all that. The third one is A Time for Building, the Third Migration, 1880 to 1920. And this, the general editor for this series is, I should have mentioned, is Henry L. Feingold. The author of this is Gerald Soren. And this came out in 1992. Again, the same general structure as you'd expect. This one here, you would think, oh yeah, it has plenty of images. The fourth volume is A Time for Searching, Entering the Mainstream, 1920 to 1945. And this is by the series editor, Henry L. Feingold, excuse me. Make sure I'm right about that, yep. And this, also 1992. And then the final volume, A Time for Healing, American Jewry Since World War II, by Edward S. Shapiro, also 1992, the American Jewish Historical Society. Let's see. So it looks really interesting. Glad to have it. Add to the American history shelves. And then this one, the one I'm probably most excited about. I remember reading him when I was a teenager. I read his Adolf Hitler book he did on history of Japan. Really, really liked his writing style. But this is Captured by History, One Man's Vision of Our Tumultuous Century by John Tolan. There he is. I've never seen this before, and I'm glad to have it. St. Martin's Press, New York, 1997. And, let me read a little bit about it. Captured by history is a remarkable personal story of one of the transformation of an amateur writer to a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian. A book of epic scope and remarkable breadth. John Tolan, through great tenacity and insight into people, was able to access the hidden, untold stories behind this century's greatest events. Here are the facts behind the great moments in modern history and how Tolan uncovered them. Amongst the stories Tolan reveals are striking portrait of Hitler's inner circle, how Tolan pierced the wall of silence surrounding the Emperor of Japan and with his wife's help gained access to the Emperor's chief advisor, how he persuaded the Chinese to give him secret documents about Mao and his methods of running the Korean War, how Tolan and U.S. Ambassador to Japan Edwin Reischauer were secretly contacted by the Chinese, who promised to cooperate with the United States in stopping the bloodshed in Vietnam. They do have some images in here. I did glance through this briefly. Let's see. There's a family photos. And let me get an older photo. Yeah. This is Tolan and Toshiko with their daughter, Tamiko, at Cornell University in 1988. That's the bottom picture. So there he is. So, I'm excited to read this. This really looks good. And I can't wait to get started. Really, really enjoyed his, on my biography shelf when I was a teenager, I had his Adolf Hitler. And let's see what other thing. I remember the Japanese book. I can't remember the title. So, Rising Sun, the Decline and Fall of Japanese Empire, 36 to 45. He had Adolf Hitler, which I had. Infamy, Pearl Harbor and its Aftermath. And Immortal Combat Korea, and a whole bunch of others. So pretty neat. So not a bad little book haul. Like I say, I'm going to do the... this is about ready to fall over. I'll do the tag... here in a few minutes, but we had a good time. It's a pretty day. Supposed to get to 25 degrees below zero. 25 degrees below zero tonight, Fahrenheit. And but that's with wind chill, so I just won't go outside. So I hope you're all well, and thank you, BookTube.